speaking of Cena, how do you explain to somebody how polarizing he is?
It's hard to explain. When I look at John Cena, I see a guy who, has done more Make-A-Wish, than anybody ever. I think. Heck, I spoke to a kid, and he had brain cancer, and it tore me to pieces. So for John to do that on a regular basis, it just shows he's just a strong human being.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't quite put my finger on why some of the guys boo John Cena. It may be because he's always been their top guy. Maybe that's the reason. They feel like John's been shoved down the throat. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'm not sure why he gets these boos. He is definitely one of the workhorses of WWE.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For me, he's always gonna have my respect. Just always working hard. You can't deny that.
Well, I get stuff on my website and on Twitter. People say, "Well, it should have been Roman Reigns that won Money in the Bank." Well, here's the deal: Roman Reigns is not ready. Roman Reigns is a great kid. He's going to be a big star. He's got a bright future, but he's not ready. To be the lead mule pulling the wagon train here is not easy. To be the last match on most pay-per-views is not easy. To close the show at all these live events in front of 300 people, 3,000 people, 10,000 people, whatever, is not easy. And so a young kid that's just getting acclimated to being on the road and finding a rental car counter and getting to the hotel and getting a workout in and eating right and saving some money and paying his quarterlies and learning all these things, he ain't ready to be the face of the company. So you get him ready. And so Cena now is the champion. I think Brock Lesnar will be the next champion. I think Lesnar will hold the title until he loses it to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31. That's the way I would book it. And the people say, well, that's predictable. Predictability is not always bad if it's the right thing to do.
Right.
That's my take on it.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, it's execution. You could have a match with somebody where it was like you guys you won one, he wins one, and now it's like, well, okay, if I don't beat you, I'm leaving. I'm retiring. It's not even a believable angle because you can't believe it could even exist. Because I can't imagine a 35 or 36-year-old kid retiring. It's not even logical. Nobody's going to believe it. You're selling an empty wagon. Your wagon is unloaded. So I believe that Lesnar wins the title, and then Reigns wins it. But AJ, gosh, how many of these independent shows do you go to that you're not going on last?
Well, definitely. I mean, I do tons of them.
Okay, so here's my question. You do tons of independent shows, and you go on last. How hard is that? Because what can you do that they haven't already seen that will make them say, gosh almighty, that guy's amazing. He's phenomenal. No pun intended.
The great thing is, on the indies, is if I can go out there and tell a good story, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you get on, you're on the last show. But normally, especially at WWE, you have guys making sure that the same things are going to happen in those matches, which I think is great.
Yeah,
that's definitely something that needs to happen. But sometimes, if you can just tell a great story, that's all you need.
Yeah, and what kills you is that second match you're using chairs. Third match you're fighting in the crowd. Really, guys? You need to do that? You need to leave the ring the first 2 or 3 matches?
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, so you're just basically saying, that's okay to say that. Hey, I'm not a great worker. This is what I do.
There's a formula to how the show is supposed to go.
Right. Yep. There's a thought process. So it's interesting. So that's the whole deal about the Cena thing. I don't know why they boo him. I don't know if it's because he's been around a long time. He hasn't changed his gimmick a lot. He's been kind of the same look, same style, same. I believe everybody's got to evolve on a regular basis. You can't be average to make money.
I totally agree with you. One of the things that I was able to do toward the end of my TNA career was, change up my gimmick almost completely. Grow out my hair. I wasn't such a baby face I was. I had the beard, and I even changed up my moveset.
Right.
just to be different, and people go, wow, this is a totally different character that he's doing, and then not even do the old moves that I used to do, but bring them in gradually, and not do them. So now I have a whole new move set that
hopefully a whole kind of interesting AJ style that people aren't used to.
Yeah, you reinvent yourself. Everybody good has done that. Look at Terry Funk. Wasn't that many days ago that Terry Funk turned 70. He was at one time a classic babyface. Then he was a wrestling heel. Then he was a brawling heel. Then he was a character babyface. And then he was a hardcore wrestler. And now at 70, he's a different character. And even though he's not taking a lot of bumps, he's still an entertaining character on an indie show because he can still speak. He's entertaining. You want him on your show. But that's the deal. He could have stayed in his pattern, but he didn't. He kept evolving.